For this problem, we want to look at finding a common denominator. If we find a least common denominator, we can take that denominator, multiply it by everything in the problem, and all of these fractions will disappear. These are called rational equations, and every time you have a rational equation, you want to find the common denominator, multiply it by everything in the problem. Now, what I've done is I've just written all the denominators out. What you want to do is factor all of them. This is the process of finding the common denominator. I know some of you are horrible at factoring. If you are, you need to go back to the videos on factoring so that you can refresh your memory. The first one, 4x plus 12, has a common term. The 4 will go into both 4 and 12, so you would pull the 4 out. When we do that, we have 4 times x plus 3. The second one is a perfect square. You could do a difference of squares here. 9 has a square root, which is 3. So this would factor into x plus 3 times x minus 3. The last one can't be factored, so it's completely done. Now, what you want to do is look at all of them, and you take the largest of every single term that you have. Now, what I mean by that is if you had an x plus 3 squared, you would want to take that because it's bigger than a single x plus 3. If we look at these, though, in each one, we have an x plus 3 here, an x plus 3 here, and an x plus 3 here. They're all the same size, so when we start to decide which one's going to be part of our common denominator, we want to take an x plus 3. We also have an x minus 3 up there. There's only one of them, so we have to take that one too. We also have a 4. We're going to have to take that as part of our answer. But make sure that you know if you had something like maybe a 4 on the outside of parentheses and a 12 on the outside of the others, you would take the 12 because 4 will go into 12. You would not take both of them. If you had a 4 and a 3, you would take a 12 because 4 and 3 would both go into 12. So you're trying to find the common denominator between all of the numbers that you have. The expression we have at the bottom is simply the common denominator, and we're going to use that to work the problem. So what I'm going to do next is rewrite the problem in its factored format. Now, I've just rewritten my problem. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take that common denominator that I found, and I'm going to multiply it by the whole problem. What we want to do now is see if there's anything that could cancel if I'm multiplying this. Since I have 4 times x plus 3 times x minus 3, and over here I have 4 times x plus 3, this will cancel with the 4 times the x plus 3. So it's gone, and all I have now on the top is the 1 that's already there, and the x minus 3 is what's left. So I'm going to say 1 times x minus 3. When I go to the next expression, there's a subtraction sign there, so I'm going to draw a bracket just to make sure I get everything right. And I have x plus 3 and x minus 3. Notice that I also have that over here, so they cancel, and all I'm left with is 4. So I'm going to take 4 times what's on top here, which is 1. So 4 times 1 is 4. For the last one, I have an x minus 3 on the bottom. I have an x minus 3 here. So on the top, I have 4 times x plus 3 times 5. So I'm going to write that down. Now I have a problem that I need to try to solve. So I'm going to multiply the things out that are on the right-hand side and get my answer there and start trying to combine like terms. I've done the math on the right-hand side. Now I'm going to do the math on the left-hand side. X minus 3 minus 4 is x minus 7. We want to now try to get the x's by themselves. So I'm going to bring the 20 to the other side. 1x minus 20x is negative 19x. Then I'm going to bring the 7 to the other side and get 67. Now I'm going to do my division, and I'm going to get as an answer x equals negative 67/19. Now I can't stress enough that if you're doing this problem on your own, you want to make sure that you take your answer and plug it into the original problem, the one that you started with, and make sure it works. Some of these problems, the answer you get will not work, and if that's the case, you would write no solution as the answer. Sometimes you may get 2 answers. If you get 2 answers and one of them doesn't work, you have to disregard one of them. So make sure that you're checking these problems as you do the work.